support their empowerment, everyone benefits. Family thrives, community grows stronger, and nations develop. Today, we'll be examining how men in leadership, governance, and business can actively contribute to empowering women and girls. You've known that March 8th, every year we celebrate International Women's Day. But we felt it that it wouldn't be nice if at every International Women's Day we are not talking to men who are allies in this journey towards ensuring that we have a society where women thrive. And over the years, we've been having men from various industries speak about how they are giving to women, how they are using power of collective action to ensure that women in different sectors of the economy, in different strata of life, actually thrive as we celebrate women in this wonderful month of March. They say if you are born in March, you are lucky because definitely March is the month we celebrate women. Once again, my name is Emmanuel Olonade, and I will be your host as we discuss and as we look at Men's Conversation 7.0 on Women Radio WFM 91.7, Nigeria first radio station for women and their families. And you can say the voice of women. So I'll be having different guests that will be joining me this morning, and we'll be taking it as they join us. Don't forget that this year's edition, we've gotten three wonderful men who are allies in the journey to ensure that women get gender equality. They are in different sector and they are doing their best to ensure that women thrive. And you know, when women thrive, definitely the society becomes better. And joining me first this morning is going to be Kende Ogundare, who is the regional manager, Zoo West Africa, and who will be talking to me this morning on different topics as it pertains to giving and allowing women to gain. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me as I welcome to the mic this morning. And for the first time on Women Radio WFM 91.7, Kende Ogundare. Kende, good morning. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing okay. And well, it's a beautiful Monday, and I do hope that your week is starting well.
Yes, it is definitely. It's a busy Monday though, but yes, we like busy.
Oh, definitely. Well, because being your first radio station for women and their family, I just have to welcome you in a special way because this is the first time our listeners will be listening to you. And don't forget, we're a unique radio station because we cater for those who matter most and those who control society. We cater for women.
Yes.
So let me just give you this to welcome you on behalf of the program's manager who has asked me to handle the program today. So let me just
Thank you.
thank you so much. Just for
Thank you for
this,
having me.
making it a day with us. Thank you very much. To be part of the program this morning, you can just dial the number 070 or 091 55917 917. You can join the conversations when the phone line is officially open. I will definitely let you know. And for women, you can dial this toll free number 08001 235917. That's our toll free line for women who wants to call in on the program. And also, you can WhatsApp us on 07031756537. And you can also watch live on our YouTube page at WFM 917. At WFM 91.917, and you can also listen to us live at on our website at www.wfm917.com. You can join the conversation wherever you are. You can be part of this conversation today. So, without wasting much of our time, I know that Kende is a very busy person and he has to get back to it. So, I'm going to just make this very, very fast. This is International Women's Day, and this month has traditionally be seen as a day focused on women. Why is it
Yes.
important for men to be actively involved in conversation about gender equality? We speak about gender equality, but we also have to know why it is important for men to be actively involved in this. And as someone in the tech space, I just want to get your perspective and opinion on why it is very important for men to be part of this.
Thank you very much for having me this morning. But a pleasure being here and happy International Women's Day to all the wonderful, powerful women out there. To answer your question, I think it is very important for men, especially the male, gender to participate, and they should actually participate in gender equality. First of all, the truth is that we are guys. Sometimes we do not understand what it takes to be a woman in the society that we find ourselves today. And the gender equality is not just a topic, it's not just a buzzword. We need to take active action to ensure the safety, the quality of the ladies and the women we have under our employment, or our colleagues, our friends, our sister, our bosses that are female, right? So it is important for us to actively and intentionally work towards gender equality in the society that we have today.
All right, thank you. And then that's your conclusion will also lead me to my next question. You are from the corporate and technology sector. What role can organizations play in ensuring women have equal opportunity to grow and lead? Because I think growing up they tell you some things. This is a man's job. This is a man's stuff. Women don't do this. Women don't do that. But I think in different sectors we've seen women who are breaking barriers now, who are doing things
Yes.
that people tag as impossible. So from your
Yeah.
own sector, the corporate and technology sector, what role can organizations play in ensuring women have equal opportunities to grow and lead?
Thank you very much for that question. And that reminds me of the popular saying, and I believe that since I was young, that has been ringing in my head. And the saying says that what a man can do, right, a woman can do it better. So anywhere you see a woman leading today, they are exceptional at what they do, right? And which is why organizations will be doing themselves a disservice if they are not intentionally empowering and creating opportunities for women to be themselves and to lead in roles. So, what can we do as a corporate body? We can intentionally create an avenue where everybody can be heard and they can be heard equally, right? We can create opportunities that will not segregate. Sometimes opportunity for people, especially women, to thrive in what they do.
All right, let me just bring it down to Zoo Nigeria or Zoo West Africa. So, how
Yes.
have you guys been able to transform this? I'm making it a personal question because I'm having the boss sit down with me, and it won't be fair on Nigerian women if I don't ask this question. And you might have been doing a whole lot that we are not aware of. As you know, we are the voice of women and the only radio station for women and their families, and we have them as our audience. And we also like to know what you have been doing as an organization, as an institution, based
Yeah.
on the answer you've given to role organizations can play in ensuring women have equal opportunities to grow and lead. What has been the things that Zoe Nigeria or Zoe West Africa has put in place to ensure that women actually are part of the transformative journey in technology in Nigeria and Africa?
Thank you very much for that question. Always for women empowerment. I think it's very important for us to understand that for one, I believe that what a man can do, woman can do it better, and it's for true. On my team, I have powerful women on my team that are heading units and departments. And apart from that, even when it comes to our own activity in-house, we've held series of training for women-focused community, right? We talk about technology. So we understand that technology can be cumbersome, can be ambiguous. However, we've created series of trainings. In the last 1 year, we've trained two communities, She Code and Eels for Tech. They are women, right? We had about 60 of them in the office when we trained them on how they can use low code, no code platform to build and develop application that they can use on the day-to-day to improve and scale up their businesses, right? We've empowered them. We've done a young creator program that can empower businesses to be able to understand technology and how they can apply it in their businesses today. And interestingly, we are going to be hosting our second edition of Women in Business Summit this week, right? So these are initiatives that we've put in place. We're going to be doing it in Ghana and Nigeria. These are initiatives we put in place to bring women together in the same room and let them actually get to experience and hear for other women from other industry, creating an environment for them to hear how they can scale up their business and how they can actually use technology and adopt it to scale up their business. And it has been really fruitful, right? The first edition was nice. We're going to be doing the second one this week. And these are things that we've done internally to make to create an enabling environment for women doing business in this country.
Okay, thank you. That's a whole lot of program, and the fact that you have women heading different department, different units within the organization speaks volume of your attempt to also ensure that sustainable development goal 5, that is gender equality, is being met, and we have to give you kudos to that. And as voice of women, we'll keep amplifying and pushing those who are encouraging women and who are giving women platform to thrive and ensuring that there is equal opportunity for them. We'll keep speaking their praise and we'll keep speaking about them. All right, I'm speaking with Kendi Ogundari, who happens to be the regional manager of West Africa. He has been discussing with us on how women can thrive, how women can be part of the conversation, and how women can be enjoy equal rights as we celebrate this special in this special month that is Tag Women's Month and International Women's Day yesterday. But we're having a conversation today to ensure that everything moves and everything thrives. So, before I proceed to my next question, so that I'll just conclude on this question, I want you to just give me an advice you will be telling bosses of different organizations who are not being inclusive when it comes to women representation in the organization. What is that advice you'll be giving to them?
The first thing I will say to them is they are missing out, right? They are missing out. I think women bring different perspective to business. I also think that their leadership quality can never be underestimated. Now, guys can be logical, you can think about strategically, but women bring all perspective to the table, right? And I can assure you that if you have people in leadership, if you have female women in leadership within the organization, you'll be well grounded. It's not just about having the numbers. Okay, you have 4 guys, you have 2 female employees. No, it is actually proven to be productive that women are better at leading and managing people. Now, employee experience is very special, it's very important. Our customer experience is very important, and these are units that women are thriving in, right? So, my advice to any business owner, any business leader currently in the world right now is to look at the gender equality. They should look at it, right? And be deliberate in creating the same environment, the same opportunity for people, for women on their team to lead, right? And to balance the equation.
No, okay, as just a form of humor, you've said a lot, and I see it as someone who has been working with women, because it seems like you are speaking from experience on what you've enjoyed actually having women on your team. I don't know if I'm right about that or I'm wrong about that.
Oh, you're very right. You're very right. I've enjoyed working with women. They bring a different perspective to our business, our initiative, even our marketing activities. The way we understand business, especially when you talk about technology. Technology can also be so technology should be an enabler of doing business, right? Now, if you now bring women perspective into that, it changes the game for you completely, right? And given that a lot of business owners in these countries are women, we go to moms and pop shops, you go to and most majority of SME owned businesses are led by women, right? So you cannot underestimate their importance. It is very important to emphasize the quality and the value they bring to the country as a whole, right? And even to the organization as a company. So I have enjoyed having them working with me. I've enjoyed working with them at the top level, at the medium level, even at the lower level. They've been fantastic all through. So my advice to everybody would be like, do
Well,
not
that's
miss
coming
out.
from Kende Ogundare saying, "Do not miss out." And if the boss of Zoe can tell you, "Do not miss out," I don't know who else would tell you that, because I think this has been quite an experience for him, speaking as a man who has worked with women, especially in the technological space, in the corporate space, that most people are not actually happy or they are afraid to dive in. And it's no longer a man's job, as they say. It is everybody's job. And when women are ready, I think in the words of Kende, is saying that we should always give them that space. They are fun to work with. They are people that you enjoy working with, and they bring a kind of balance to the workplace. What would our world be like without women? So we have to just,
That women.
yeah, we just have to give them that. And I'll say kudos to you and Zoe for ensuring that women thrive and women have a place within your organization, which is a very, very important one. So the conversation, for those who are just joining us, has been between myself and Kende Ogun Dare, who has been doing this. And a quick one, I'll just pause you there a bit. Let me just speak to Sean Justin, who is the lead development, who is the co-founder, lead development initiative. Just a minute, I'll be back to you, Mr. Kendi Ogundare. Just let me have a brief conversation with Sean Justin, who is the lead who is the co-founder, lead development initiative, to have this conversation. Hello, Justin. Can you hear me this morning? This afternoon,
Yes,
I beg your pardon.
morning. It's afternoon already. Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, good to
Yeah.
have you on the platform. Quick one. I I just want to ask the question. I think you came into the conversation when I was having uh a good conversation. I won't say a good interview because we're having a conversation, a good interview with Mr. Akende Ogundare, and you pick some of our conversation from your own perspective. I just want to ask you this question: what do you think that men need to do to ensure women get more inclusive position when it comes to leadership?
All right. Thank you so much. It's so good to be on this conversation. Uh, we already are conversant with the marginalization challenge that women experience when it comes to leadership and politics in northern Nigeria, and most of which is driven by our patriarchal culture that has put in place some limiting cultural norms, social norms that places women at the background and not place them on active platforms to showcase their God-given talent. uh, if you look at political space, is so terrible. For instance, in the entire National Assembly or in the entire elections that was conducted in 2023, women will just occupy only 4.6% of, of the positions. That is quite sad. You will be talking about if you have 100 people who were elected in last election, only about four of them are women in a nation where the population places us at 50-50. In fact, women occupy almost 50.1 or 50.3% of the population projection. This is quite sad. So, in making this, well, in changing this trajectory, there are a lot of factors that we need to play. But one of them is the role of men. Men need to see themselves as allies and as partners. I understand that we, in real sense, looking at the peculiar challenges women face in our society, especially in the northern and core southern societies, men need to rise up as mentors for women. So one of the things we need to do as men, we need to raise mentors. I remember many years ago we were having conversations on women political participation, and the question were, where were the women? You understand? Where were the women, especially the younger women? Many of them have not got their capacities built to participate in leadership and politics at those levels. So, but when men begins to mentor some of those women, it's easier to lift them into the political arena. It's easier to mentor them into those leadership positions. We've seen women succeed excellently in the corporate world. We need to see them succeed, right, in the political space. One of the other things we can do is to be allies that speaks for women. So as men, we need to learn to speak for women, right? A lot of times we are in spaces where women's voices are not taken because men dominate the space. You can imagine in the Senate, how many female senators do we have out of 109 senators? In many communities, you will discover that there will not be women voices there because of the representation that's already low. We need to see more men rise to speak in support of women in every meeting. Speak in support as husbands, speak in support of your wife. When there are meetings, traditional council meetings, even community family meetings. As a husband, you can request you want your wife to be seated in that meeting as well. So we need to speak for them. We need to give them that space where necessary. Another thing we can do
All right,
as men. All
Justin,
right,
just let me cut you. Let me cut in a bit there. Apologies for that,
please
but
bye.
because I'm running with time and I have people that will still come on board. I'm still expecting the Lagos State Commissioner for Youth and Social Development and also the SSA to Ogun State Governor on public communications who are still going to be joining us. But I've been keeping Kendi Ogundare here for quite a while, and I think I just have to conclude with him because you are taking me to another conversation that's going to take a lot of time. Kendi has spoken about the corporate and the technological space and the fact that women are now being represented. And you also attest to the fact that women are being represented in the corporate sector now. but politically they are not being represented. And I would say we have to give kudos to the likes of Kende, who has been doing a great job in ensuring that women representative in corporate sector increases. And for the political space, I think I would also like the commissioner to join and also the SA to join, because it's going to be a very long conversation in that aspect. But I have to allow Kende to go, and because I know he has a very tight schedule and meetings up and down. Today being Monday, it's very hard to to put bosses of their schedule on Monday. So before you just leave, Kende, I would just like to ask this question from you so that we just conclude on this segment and allow you go. Uh, what is one action men must start taking today to truly empower women? What is that action that you feel that men should start taking today to truly empower women? It can be one, it can be two. I just want to know the action you feel that men should take today to empower women.
Thank you very much for this question. And thank you, Shane, for what you mentioned. I think one of the things that men should start doing right now, one of the actions they need to start doing right now is to start speaking up. When you are in a room, when the voice of the women on the room, when the table is not being heard, when opportunities are being presented, but then they need the backing of a man before they can actually use the idea, or they can actually hear the idea from the lady or the women on the board. We need to speak up and actually acknowledge that she's valid, right? I work in corporate setting in tech space, so which means every idea, any opportunities you have to get everybody, you also need to include women in that conversation. That is when it's going to be balanced, right? So I would advise anybody that wants to be the ally to women. I mean, of course, we should all be allies because women are very important figure in our society today, whether financially, whether economically, even strategically in technology as well. They are very important. So we need to speak up. We need to create support and create an environment where everybody feel comfortable to be able to be who they are and to be able to express themselves. And that is when we can get the maximum benefit, right, from the women leading our words today. So that would be my advice to anybody.
All right, thank you very much, Kendi Ogundari, the regional manager for Zoo West Africa. Thank you for taking time out to join us. Thank you for being on time. I have to mention that. And thank you for being part of the Men's Conversation 7.0. Thank you for heeding the call of Women Radio. I'm very sure when women call, you have to answer.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. And kudos to all the women out there. I want to congratulate you on International Women's Day. We appreciate you. We love you. Your actions, your impact in those world, especially in Nigeria, is not going unnoticed. We are here to support you. We are going to do everything in our power to create an environment where we all thrive. So, congratulations again and happy International Women's Day to all the fantastic women globally. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much. We ensure the conversation continues with Kendi Ogundari and Zoo West Africa to keep up with them on what they are doing and also to find out what it is that they are doing to ensure that women thrive and that there is equality when it comes to the tech and corporate sector. So let me just come back to you, Justin, because I think you are taking me to a conversation that involves politics, traditional rulers, and having women speak in the local space. So let's look at this as the leader, as the executive director, Young Leaders Network. Uh, you were concluding on a thought the other time that men needs to bring women into the room, hold their hands, bring them into the room, and allow them speak.
Yeah.
Uh, do you think culture seems to be a barrier in this regard?
Yes, culture. One of the biggest challenge of getting that effective is the harmful cultural norms. The cultural barrier is sustained by everyday comment and expectations of the society. And so, what men can do is that we need to see men who speak against stereotypes. A lot of people say that women cannot lead. He has some statements that women's education ends in the kitchen. Women can't lead in homes. They can't lead in mosques or churches. They can't lead in community meetings. As men, we can speak against all of those norms because it's like a society moving on one leg. It's an athlete trying to win championship on one foot. We will never get there, right? So another thing we can do is to support women's public visibility. that's a way to also help to challenge women, because a lot of women have also had their subconscious, right? Uh, like washed down with this mindset. So they've come to agree with the norms that no, they should not speak in public. When they are in public meetings, they should be at the back. The anytime they are together with men, they should be silent, and any that there are opportunities, even when they are most qualified for those opportunities, they should deny themselves the access to those opportunities and allow the male folks to do that. So a lot of women have failed in trying. A lot of women don't even want to make attempts at all. A lot of women, because of those mindsets, the only thing they think about, especially if you meet a young girl in school, is how to get married and how to know how to cook. But when we begin to help, like, build this positive self-esteem in them, building resilience, right? What we see is that we'll see men encourage shared domestic responsibilities so that women can also campaign.
All right, thank you very much, Shion, for that. But another question I would like to ask you is, how can men who have gained also give to women by empowering them? Because we
Oh,
have men who have gained a lot, and as a team for the year, we can't forget what we're talking about this year. If you've gained, you have to give,
yeah.
and we are seeing women who have gained now giving, but we need men who are gone in some industries who are now coming back. How can they ensure that they give? They give capacity wise, they give through referrals, they give through a lot of means. So how can we ensure that this is done in society?
Thank you. So one of the things I would say to those kind of men, they should not just mentor, they should also move from mentoring to sponsoring. Do you understand?
Uh,
So mentorship can give advice. A lot of women have been receiving too many advice. I think it is time to move from that mentorship ladder, right, to sponsorship ladder. Sponsorship uses influence to create opportunities for those women. So one of these men can do is to introduce women to party decision makers, introduce women to power blocks. If you're in politics with women, introduce them, publicly endorse competent women, especially in seats that I think they are competent. Is that fine? So if you're influential as a man in politics, in leadership position, you can publicly endorse women. You can even nominate women for key party roles. A lot of women can be organizing secretaries. Organizing secretaries of political parties must not only be men, right? Women can also be legal advisors, right? So we need to see that kind of thing. For example, you see a male ward chairman insists that the party's campaign committee must include women in strategic role. What's he doing? He's trying to use his position strategically to position women. Also, I also tell those kind of men to to use men to men influence, right? To normalize women political participation. So these kind of men, you can talk to your fellow men. For instance, in legislation, you can, if a male legislator can speak to another male legislator, a male lawmaker can even host private meetings, right, with other lawmakers, and then engage them on the need support. Another thing that I talk about, that I think will be relevant for us to know in how men can use their influence and their resources is we can make politics safer. Violence and intimidation keeps many women away from politics. For men, many of us, we control the crowd. Many men even control the talks. You understand? So we can encourage men to not only advocate for strict enforcement against violence and harassment against, election wise, we can also get those men to demand for discipline, party disciplines. They can disqualify thugs, they can sanction violence campaigns, all of those things. So that can happen. So we need to see men who are not just mentors, but they are using their resources, they are using their influence to mentor other women and sponsor other women, especially in politics.
all right, thank you. The word of Justin: men should not only be mentors, but they should also sponsor. If you mentor without sponsoring, then there are some doors that won't be open. So you mentor and then you sponsor to ensure that they get to that height. So thank you for those wonderful words. This is the Men's Conversation 7.0 on Women Radio WFM 91.7, Nigeria first radio station for women and their families, the voice of women. And we are talking to men on this wonderful day that we are celebrating women to ensure that we get the perspective and we get what men thinks, and also we ensure that men speaks to how they can uh so how they can actually give to women from what they've gained. And we've been having conversation. I had Kendi Ogundare, who is the regional manager West Africa for Zoo, who just left us about some minutes to have another conversation somewhere else. And I'm speaking with Seun Justin Onefade. Uh, thank you for coming on the program to have this conversation with us. Sorry, Seun Justin Onarinde. I think I said Unified Onarinde. Thank you. Who is the Executive Director, Young Leaders Network. Well, before I let you go and proceed with conversation, I just want to go towards this part with you. We speak about Young Leaders Network, and we speak about bringing up leaders who are women. We've seen women who fought for certain rights. We had the 35% affirmative action. We are seeing women who are fighting for the reserve seats uh, bill for women. We are seeing women who are doing a whole lot of things. So I just want to ask, when we mention women who has fought, we have a whole lot of them to mention. So what is initiative like you, who focus on young leaders, doing to ensure that women are also carried along in your own group, and to ensure that when they are carried along, they attain leadership position, and there can be transfer of knowledge from women who have seen, who have experienced, and who have fought for, to them to continue from wherever it is that they stop.
Okay, thank you um, for that question. So I remembered many years ago, uh, um, for programs like this, we struggle to get young women from this side of the country as speakers, sometimes even as qualified staff. So we made it, or we decided that's before Young Leaders Network was being established. That want to bridge this capacity divide, gender gap, right, in bringing in raising female leaders. So we thought that one of the ways to do that is to invest in women. So all of this we started doing, and this became incorporated into the core of what Young Leaders Network is doing. Is one, we introduce mentorship. There's what we call the Young Women Political Mentorship Program. We set up. This we've been doing in partnership with Late Thoughts Development Initiative, and National Endowment for Democracy has been at the heart of supporting this initiative. So once upon a time, after the 2019 general elections, we were hosting a lot of forums in support of women political participation. So one day we decided to have the round table to bring women who are in appointive positions from 1999 till 2020. Guess what, Mr. Emmy? In that room, all those who were in that room were in their 50s, 60s, 70s. Some were even calling to work. They will start asking questions. Where are the younger women? Right? So we realized that apart from capacity gap, there was also a problem of mentorship. So we created a program to bridge that capacity gap, Young Women Political Mentorship Program, where young women below 35 years, their capacities are built in leadership, community participation, political participation, advocacies, and then they are linked to successful female politicians, and even female senior civil servants, women who are in executive roles, even in the corporate sector. So for a 1 year mentorship program. So we have that in that initiative, we provide one-on-one mentorship program, even created a peer mentorship cycle. We call it Women Peer Support Network, right? And so that continues to happen in that room. So these are the things we've been doing as an organization. Even as an organization, we ensure that for every our program, we try to maintain, if not more women, at least minimum of 50-50. As I'm talking to you presently in our organization, uh, 3 of our management staff out of 5 management staff are all females, right? So this is telling you how this is paying off. Our women are doing so much in gaining back the seat for themselves. Another thing we invest in is in training. We have a lot of trainings for women, right? Especially those of them in tertiary education schools. So we realize that politics can always be traced to participation in student union government, right? And this culture of marginalization, in most cases, is rooted in the structure of student union governments in the tertiary institutions. So we created the SALTAP initiative, and that student union transformational leadership program was targeting to raise more women in student union government, which we were able to achieve over time. And these young women, some of them have set up initiatives in different states. Some of them are among the uh, community champions that we have in different locations across northern Nigeria. So these are just some of the initiatives that we have set up, right, to improve on women political participation. Maybe I should speak to this one. We also ensure that we enable great atmospheres for women to complete their education. It was also a response to the question in one of in our reflection meetings. If women are encouraged to contest in elections, question is, uh, where are these women? Are they in schools? These are women that are not in schools. So if we're immobilizing them, we will now going to encounter an education gap. So we must also bridge the education gap. And that was why we started working to ensure that we build the resilience of women through mentorship clubs in schools and out of schools to encourage them to return back to school and those them who are in school to complete their education. We just completed a process of helping Bauchi State develop the Bauchi State Gender in Education Policy, also the Bauchi State guideline for facilitating re-entry for pregnant and married adolescent girls. This to ensure that apart from encouraging the girls, we also have the state putting in place the right policies to ensure that these girls return back to school and they complete their education. And while we're doing that, we're raising male allies, right, to support them. So we have fathers forums. In those fathers forums, we're engaging husbands and fathers, right, to enable their daughters and their wives to return back to school, right? We're also hosting stakeholders forums on education where traditional leaders and community leaders have been engaged to speak up for girls' education. So, and also, so I'm just sharing with you some of the initiatives we run as Young Leaders Network in northern Nigeria to encourage women to gain leadership positions and also be trusted for community leadership.
All right, thank you very much. There, you've been so elaborate, and I love the part about the education breaching that gap, because it is only someone that has knowledge and understands that is easy to convince to follow a course, not blindly but with conviction. So I think I have to give you kudos for
Thank you for that.
identifying
Do,
that.
do do you know that in respect to that, we had to work on our gender responsive education programming, where we also realized that while the education is important, there was a problem of the, the content not being gender responsive. For instance, speak some of our training manuals in schools. You still see inside our textbooks that students are using in schools. You see Sally is a carpenter. You see Emmanuel is an engineer, and then you now see Salem, or you see Jennifer is a caterer. So already those content are shifting the mindset of students to begin to think in one direction. That there are some professions that they cannot do. You not see Juliet as a politician. You only see, oh, Usman is a politician and Juliet is a homekeeper. So we needed to introduce gender responsive learning pedagogy where we trained teachers and also trained school managers on gender responsive content for teaching students.
All right, thank you very much, Sean Justin Onorinde, who happens to be the Executive Director, Young Leaders Network, who has joined us on the Men's Conversation 7.0 this morning. From Bauchi, if I'm actually correct. Thank you
Right.
for the work you put in, and thank you for everything you do to ensure that women are enjoying, they have the rights and access to being included in everything, whether politics, whether in the traditional setting, in the education sector, or in any space that they find themselves. Thank you very much. In 30 seconds, just before I let you go, I just want you to give an advice out there. 30 seconds, kindly make it brief so that you just give your final words, which I want it to be in form of advice to men out there about how they need to support women, and for those who have gained, how they need to give back to women.
All right. Okay, so thank you. I don't know, but in 30 seconds, one of the things I would tell men is that don't make start from your home. Start at home. Make participation possible. Of course, politics takes time, travel, sometimes visibility, but many women are blocked from their domestic loads, right? So men should give permission to their daughters and to their wives to become the best that God wants them to be.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you very much. That's the voice of Sharon Justin honoring. They're saying that men should ensure that their daughters and their wife become the best that God wants them to be. Thank you for those parting words on the program this morning. And thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for taking time out this Monday afternoon to be part of this conversation. All right, you've been listening to the Men's Conversation 7.0 on Women Radio WFM 91.7, commemorating International Women's Day 2026. I've been having conversation with Sean Justin Onorinde, and also I had conversation with Kende Ogundari, who happens to be the regional manager of West Africa. And we've had conversations from politics to the corporate sector to the technological space on how we can ensure that women thrive. My name is Emmanuel Olonade. Remember, when we give opportunities to women, we all gain. And on behalf of my producer, Rose Yusuf Keisa, and executive producer Tomo Kewale Shonaya, Emmanuel Olonade is telling you that have a wonderful afternoon and stay tuned to Women Radio WFM 91.7, Voice of Women, Voice of Change. Once again, happy International Women's Day. And thank you for being part of this conversation. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.